Hey everybody, Chris Collier here. Welcome to Conquer with Chris, the podcast for digital marketing success. Today I'm going to do something I haven't taken the opportunity to do yet because, didn't know how important it was. And I feel like it's time that I share some of it with you now. So I'm going to tell you my story as I unfold because there's so much that I have to put in here. And I'm 51, maybe 52 here in the fall. And I want to make sure I don't leave too much out, but I don't want to give you everything so I don't burden you. So I'm going to try to make this more about my entrepreneurial journey, but there's so much tied up into it that I've learned through my life experience that it's hard for me to leave certain things out. Sit back, let's get ready, and Chris Collier's journey from zero to hero. I started off my entrepreneurial journey by, one, I was homeschooled. And we were taught that having your own business, your own job, your own, we call it a side gig now, is a great thing. So we went to this homeschool conference and we're trying to sell bumper stickers from there. And we did all right. We did okay. Not great, but we did okay. So that was the first thing. And then I became a newspaper boy and mowed lawns during the summer, all this stuff. And it created the entrepreneurial spirit inside me, or was birthed. That's when I was walking down the streets in Middleville at 8 and 9 years old, 9 and 10 years old, I should say, with a little piece of money in my pocket, thinking I was something, able to buy my own Transformers and G.I. Joe guys, invest in my 4K way back then. I remember we had a guy that I was investing with, and certain things taught me how to be an entrepreneur. One was I was homeschooled, and it was a little bit different than most people because my parents did teach me and they did raise me and they to be a certain way or to act a certain way, and that there's benefits to acting that way and being that way. When I first started out being a paperboy, the challenges I started out with were more physical and mental. I had to learn how to sell. I had to learn how to, end of the day is you tell a kid he can have a boom box, which I'll put in here if I can remember. It was a little GE boom box cassette radio. It was high tech back in those days, but today you guys would laugh at it. Looking at today's standards of things, right? I won the contest and I got the boombox. Excuse me. It's important. I just want to encourage you. Teach your kids young to go after their dreams. Let them achieve their dreams. Make it possible for their dreams to come true, because then they'll dream bigger dreams and they'll go after them. And you as a parent, it's your job to help them attain those dreams. One of the things I'm pretty, at this much, still proud of, that I did when I was young, I had a clubhouse being built in my backyard, and it was off the ground. I paid I saved up my money, $800-900, and we had some friends that the dad was a contractor, a construction worker, a contractor, a missionary, if you will. Help people build or rebuild churches or build new churches. And they would contract them to go in and build them. And sometimes they had a big crew, sometimes they had a small crew. And sometimes they just need little things fixed, and he'd go in and fix it, preach, and move on to the next place. However that went for them. But we did give him some money to help us build it. It was tremendous. I was the only kid I knew that had his own clubhouse. It was 10 by 10. 4 feet off the ground. Was something to behold. You say, what does that have to do with the entrepreneurial journey? Once again, if you have a vision, you can accomplish anything. There's a guy, I can't think of his name right now. He said, if your dream's big enough, Dexter Yeager, that's who said it. If your dream's big enough, the facts don't matter. If your dream's big enough, the facts don't matter. Dexter Yeager, the biggest guy in all of Amway at any time. I'm telling you. He had Bill Britt as one of his business partners. Huge. So I had to learn how to navigate these challenges of selling, of collecting, delivering the paper. Excuse me. So then I went from there to being an athlete in high school. I played every sport except for tackle football. My school only had flag football. And then after that, when I did go to public school that had all the sports, I ended up running cross country, did well enough to get scholarship to HBCU that was local, went there for a year and a half and dropped out. It just didn't mesh with me. Certain things didn't work in my mind when it was compared to that, what they were trying to teach. So I got out of there. The entrepreneur bug was still with me. I tried so many different things. People said I never amount to anything, and I have. Breakthrough moment is when I understood the like, know, and trust factors. And when you overcome them, people will trust you with whatever they have. One of the things is I met this guy. He was a pastor, and we're at a conference, and he had a little situation he had to take care of. He looks to me and turns to me and says, "Can you take my wife back to where we're staying and come back and get me?" I said, "Sure, no problem." At first, I was offended because in my mind is I want to be a part of helping these people solve their problem, right? I want to help them do what they're doing. I want to be part of the solution. But I realized I was, and the man trusted me with his highest valued item in his life, which is his wife. So I took her home and dropped her off, made sure she got in the house okay. And then I went to my house. So when you're just starting out, don't try to do everything. Pick one thing and become a specialist, because a doctor that does just general practice doesn't get paid as much as someone who specializes. So specialize. Take your time and specialize. If it's YouTube, specialize in YouTube. If it's Pinterest, specialize in Pinterest. If it's Facebook, specialize in Facebook. So these are things that you'll learn as you go, but if you learn now, you'll be way ahead. The breakthrough in my career was when I got monetized in YouTube, and my podcast started just doing really well on YouTube. So I'm grateful for that. I'm so grateful for that now. That being said, I still have yet to get a paycheck from Google, which is kind of funny. But I'm just grateful because the thing is like there's a lot of people who aren't even monetized. So I hope you get one of those buttons at some point, but we'll see how that goes. The importance, I recognize personal branding was important because, for example, let's just say you're a network marketer and you do company ABC. Let's say I'm in ABC business like you. What makes us different? You see, you can't change the product. You might have some underhand way to change delivery, but you can't change the product. So let's just say this is something you're selling, right? You're selling this bottle of vitamins. You're selling that bottle of vitamins. I'm selling the same bottle of vitamins. It's not the same exact bottle, but you know what I'm saying. The same type of vitamin that you are, the same brand, and at the same price. And you say, what makes Chris different than me? So you think you have an edge on me. What makes you have an edge? If you call this a USP, unique selling proposition, this is what makes you different than me. So it makes me different than you. The fact I was a paperboy makes me different than you. The fact I was homeschooled makes me different than you, unless you did both those things. The fact that I like to go camping might make me different than you. All these things added together definitely make me stand out in a crowded group. The fact that I'm a pastor and I understand how to speak publicly, right? That also stands out, right? So then you have all these other things that I've been through. I've helped plant over 20 churches. That's part of my entrepreneurial spirit. People who don't understand when the Bible talks about pastors, prophets, evangelists, teachers, and apostles, talk about the fivefold, the apostolic is more entrepreneurial than he is anything else, because he likes to go start. He's a starter, right? The teacher likes to teach. The pastor is like a family guy. He's a patriarch. The evangelist likes to sell. Like if you're going to be an evangelist, you sell people on Jesus. And so, and the prophetic is into research and development, moving forward, pointing things out that just aren't right. So, sorry, a little bit digression there, but hopefully it benefits you in the way you see things in the natural world married to the spiritual world. You have to master personal branding because it is the basis of marketing. You can't market yourself until you have your own personal brand. Your voice makes a difference. Your voice is different than anyone else's on the planet. And if someone's similar to you, they don't have the cadence, may be a little bit off. They might talk a little bit faster, might talk a little bit slower. Their voice might be a little bit deeper. They may be a little bit higher. You don't know, right? You don't know how all that's going to play out. But you have a distinctive voice. Even if they have the same voice as you, their experience is a little bit different than yours. And the way your point of view is a little bit different. It's going to bring other people to you that they wouldn't be able to bring. I want to warn you about getting caught up into colors and logos. Logos are good. It does show a demonstration of who you are and what you do, but don't get caught up in it. Don't think you have a new idea. Don't think you have to have a new logo. Use the logo you got as much as you can. Some people say you need one funnel, one message, one until you get $100,000. Well, that may or may not be true. You definitely don't need more than one logo. You don't need more than one brand voice in most cases, because you're just you. What do you think would be an effective strategy to build authority and trust? One is be consistent. And when you're done being consistent, be even more consistent. And when you're done being consistent, be even more consistent. You should be putting up stuff every day, every other day, whatever your schedule permits. You should be putting stuff up until people know you, like you, and trust you. My crowning achievement is yet to come. There's so much I'm grateful for, so much I'm thankful for, but I don't believe I've reached the pinnacle of anything yet. I haven't helped enough people. I haven't coached enough people. I haven't trained enough people to have the right mindset to build their brand, to have a great podcast, have a great show, whatever it is they do. I haven't helped enough people yet. There's new trends developing every day. There's no real way to stay ahead. But just when you hear something like AI, we heard the storm for AI months before it happened. Start developing those skills. And if it doesn't come to fruition, not waste a little bit of time, but you might be the only one who uses it still. That's what I can tell you about that. Sometimes things don't. Who thought MySpace would be done, right? If you're just starting out, I want to tell you, please, before you put up your first video on YouTube, you can put it up, but don't have it go live. You can store 10, 15, 20 videos on YouTube and then have them publish them at a later date. My suggestion is don't upload them until you get 5 or 6, then upload them. And if you can do 3 times a week, then that gives you 2 weeks. Then immediately start working on 7, 8, and 9, 10, 11, 12, and get them up the next week. So that means you have a whole month. See which videos do well, see which videos don't do well. Create your shorts, create your Instagram posts, create your Facebook post. Have everyone come back to YouTube, your Pinterest post, all that stuff, whatever it is, do it, but be consistent about it, and you'll get consistent results. There are many misconceptions of building a brand. People think you arrive. You never really arrive. You're always working on your craft. Someone asked Abraham Lincoln, if you had 2 hours, what would you do to chop down a tree? He said, I would take an hour and a half and sharpen the saw and then chop down the tree. Because chopping down the tree is once you get the tree down, that's only the first part of it. You've now got to cut it into parts or take it to the lumberyard and let them do it. But the whole thing is you still got work to do, whether it be moving it out of the forest, get into a lumberyard, so building a brand's just the same way. Just because you have a brand, just you have people paying attention to yourself doesn't mean that you've made it. It means now you've gotten enough audience. Are you making enough money? What is enough money? What do you plan on doing? I'm reading a book now called The Buyback. I might mess up the title, but it's a really good book. I'd encourage everyone to get it. You should be buying your time back more and more on things you don't like doing in your business, so you can be lit up, excited about what you do in your business, and there'll be more coming soon about that. But hopefully this is beneficial to you. You enjoyed it, and I hope to see you guys soon. Hey, look at underneath. There's a bit.ly link to a bit.ly page. Please click on it and become a member of my magazine, my newsletter. I'll be sending stuff out about personal branding, personal development. And thank you so much. Please like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day.